How's it, guys? This podcast has been sponsored by SAS Athletic Excellence.
And all the way is SOS Athletic from Cardiff in Wales. So how's it to all our fans watching from Wales?
Yeah.
I believe you guys say, yeah, we're all right, on that side. But I hope you guys are all right. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast. Terence is going to enter a pic of what they sponsored and sponsor us some cool shirts now. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for viewing, and a big shout out to all our fans in Wales.
Yeah, I hope the shirts fit.
Me too. Welcome, Gods of War fans, to our next podcast after being away for a while. I think we're back in quick succession, quick turnaround from the last one.
Yes.
I think we can look forward to a few more coming out, keeping you guys active and busy.
Yeah, just to remind to the fans that we're going to be having a podcast soon with the MMA SA board about the medical commission.
Yes,
so we are busy with that. So watch our page. We'll keep you informed.
EFC, welcome back, EFC.
Welcome
Graham
back.
Cairo did a great job. What a fight card.
What a fight card,
What a card. I mean, I started off watching some of the undercard. We said it in our last podcast briefly, Cameron Simon versus Billy Oosthuizen. I must be honest, I thought it was going to be a bit easier for Simon, considering the fact that we made the hype last time around that he trains with Drickus, he had the experience at UFC, it's training at that higher level. Billy Oosthuizen came to fight, man. Those guys.
I unfortunately didn't watch the prelim. You gave me a rundown on what it was.
No, that was a bloody mess, and they were hammer and tongs, and they were going at each other. Those of you that managed to stream it, if you didn't, go on the EFC site. Terence, maybe you can share it to the Gods of War site.
I'll put a link underneath here.
Not just the link, they can share the video. They do snippets of the videos after the fact, so we can just bounce it over to the Gods of War page and things like that. And those folks were going hammer and tongs. And I actually think that Drickus knew this was coming, because he had apparently he had a nice smirk on his face when the going got tough in the cage, sort of knowing that his boy will pull through the hard times, because he's taken him into some deep waters before. But well done on Cameron for the win. I think it was a great showing. The other one that was good on the undercard was the ladies' fight, Wolmerans versus Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, the email came out 2 weeks ago. She got her pro license 2 weeks ago.
I actually saw that, that pro license.
That email with Niedermeyer. And Wolmerans is a veteran of one or two fights. She's been on the amateur circuit quite a while, and she was outclassed. In my opinion, Wolmerans was outclassed. Niedermeyer has got high level striking and very, very high level ground from what I saw.
Yeah.
Finished her with a choke. Impressive lady. One to watch in the EFC. It's hype. It's first fight or whatever the case might be. But what we did, you remember Magengele from Gods of War.
We struggle with his name.
Yeah.
Because it's a dealer, but carry on.
So those of you that were at Gods of War 4, unfortunately, Magengele, that was going to be one of his last fights as an amateur, was fighting against the number one contender from the Black Dragons, Jonathan van Sittert, and Jonathan's blood pressure shot to 220 over 160, and he was declared medically unfit by the doctor on the night for the fight. So Magengele was at Gods of War, was at the weigh-ins. You can go and rewind and go check.
Yeah, we were looking so forward to that fight. It was the main event that I fight at Gods of War. It was our main event. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But it would have been a nice send-off and welcoming him into the EFC. But I see he's got some heavy hands.
He's got heavy hands. He fought against Buerta from Team CIT, another guy. The same gym where Drickus and Cameron Simon trains. Like CIT is massive. And both guys came out swinging, and they were swinging hard in the beginning.
I think they both ran out a bit of gas.
They both did. So look, Magengele, for those of you that remember him from Gods of War, I stood there, and we can all see on the podcast that I'm carrying quite a bit. Yeah. But is that why you put the camera here? Magengele, for 84 kilos, that's the middleweight cut.
He looks big, eh?
That's a massive 84.
Yeah, he looks big, eh? He looks good. And he looks good. And so did the other guys.
Buerta,
they both look good. They
two big boys.
Both in good condition. I unfortunately only watched the highlights of that fight.
No, look, rough first round. They were going at it, and I mean, the commentator said, the old Gareth McClelland, Soldier Boy, he said that in the second round, it looked like these Oaks already had 3 rounds each, behind them, because they were giving it their all in the first round. I think both guys did not want to go to the second.
No, definitely. Yeah, they wanted to finish that fight.
Yeah, they wanted to finish it quickly.
I watched the quick highlight reel this morning, but I saw they were both very flat-footed and just
in
standing
the second
there.
round,
one of us want to drop. Who's going to go first? That kind of thing. The stoppage, the stoppage was a bit...
but on the awkward side, I don't think the punch was that hectic, but I think, the ref basically thought that Botha's tired, and that he wasn't actively defending himself or kind of looking to improve position whilst defending and getting himself
he was just laying there, but I don't want to criticize any referee. We're not in the ring ourselves.
Exactly. It was a little bit, it was a soft stoppage. He got dropped with an overhand right, fell to the ground, fell in a turtle position, started shrimping, covering up, but then didn't do much from there. So he was
position,
and the ref called and maybe just to avoid some.
But it's an old saying of mine: don't leave it in the hands of the judges, and don't let the ref stop the fight.
Exactly.
You've got to be them.
Exactly.
You've got to come to perform. So
exactly.
Bad luck for him, but I'm sure he's going to bounce back.
Yeah,
he comes from a strong pedigree of a gym.
Absolutely.
And he looked like a bit of a beast to me as well. Not the kind of guy I want to tangle with. But let's see. Hopefully, he picks up on and comes back.
So it's very exciting for us to see somebody that actually came down, made the trip to Gods of War. Unfortunately, didn't fight in our cage due to a medical reason, but we got to meet with him. We got to chat to Conrad Siabi, those of you that will remember that he was there. I think it's nice to see that you and I, when we go and recruit guys in the amateur circuit, that we recruit the right guys that actually manages to turn pro.
That's our dream, is to say one day that an amateur came through our ranks into the EFC or whatever other promotions are up in the future, and then become like maybe UFC champion.
Yes, what a pleasure.
We're even excited when we like with Sindile, which we get on now, when one of the local boys are performing. So it's really nice for us. It's very lucky for us to see the sport on our side, that like you say, we're doing the right things. We're trying to do the right matchmaking. And it's very difficult in Port Elizabeth because we don't have a big spread of fighters.
Don't have a big stable. We have to bring in the guys.
So it was a good call. Well, that's why I must say that's Martin. Martin made a good call there with his matchmaking skills. So a good call there, Martin. And we excited to see where he goes.
So let's get on to the local boy, Sindile. You won it.
Well done,
yes,
well
you brought
done.
it home.
Yeah.
Well done. That was the number 1 contender fight against Shitambu. And look, I had it. I was watching the fight. I was actually at a braai, and I had my little iPad that I could stream it on. So sorry to those who was in my company at the braai when Sindile fought. I was like, I'll chat to you just now. Let me just stream a bit. And I was like, eventually I was like, who's fighting? And then people on braai, who's fighting? I said, no, it's Sindile from PE, from PESFA, And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then as I was screaming at the little iPad, everybody else started joining in on the mix. And those are not following MMA. Who's Sindile? I said, no, it's this. Okay, with the black short. Go. Stance. Oh, he must be a surfer.
It's calm as people like.
Listen, you guys. So great job, Sindile, Chris, and the team. I saw that you guys, we shared it on Facebook, like you guys said. It's great to be back. It's great for us to have on the first fight card back a local boy. It means a lot to PE, more than I think that you guys sometimes realize. We watch, there's loads of support, and we are continuously recruiting more guys. And that was for the number 1 contender shot.
So let's hope UFC puts him there. There's not a story or problem.
No, I don't think so. I think it was confirmed by the commentators as well that that was for the number 1 contender shot. Look, in the first round, we can now give our analysis of
definitely.
it.
In the first round, Sindile was definitely at the upper end.
I had Sindile taking round 1.
The second round,
I had Shitambu taking the second.
He took the second round, and I think it was due to Sindile concentrating too much on the takedown. He was trying to get the
double under, the hands clasped together.
He was
at the back,
and I've seen a couple of guys get dragged into that scenario where he was taking those elbows, and I thought, I started panicking a bit,
But in the third round, when Sindile came out and he had that sneaky sort of swinging, not wildly, but just slightly around the guard and clipped him with that left hook on the eye, that created some serious damage. And it was almost like, I agree with what Soldier Boy was saying, that they almost had the perfect game plan that they were implementing against each other. So when they were striking, they were both landing at the same time.
Yes,
both
I saw they were both going at left,
both going and both hitting. But I think Sandile shifted gears in the third. And the third was beyond debate for me.
Yeah. And totally dominant in the third.
He was totally dominant.
I think the corner knew that there was 1-1.
Yeah.
I think in the corner he said, "This is it. You got to go out and go get it now." And I think that's what he did. He stepped up his game.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So
100%.
Sandile, well done to you. We are proud of you. I'm sure you've got a few more fans, especially from a bride. They wouldn't know that they were supporting you that night, but they ended up doing it. So congrats! Congrats!
My dad and I actually ended up watching it. So that's
awesome.
You got a new fan in my dad, because my dad's a boxing fan. He watches all the boxing fights. And he was very impressed with the
great. So we got a win in PE. We go further onto the main card. Zulu Boy, Nkazimulu Zulu, Fafa Dwama. I mean, I honestly thought that Zulu Boy was going to outstrike him, and in the end, it was the submission game.
Yeah. I think they were very well matched on the striking game. They were matched. I didn't see that other guy wasn't standing back for anything. He was climbing in there.
But when I saw what Zulu Boy tried to do, he was trying to get on the back. He was trying to finish the rear naked choke.
I swear but he was falling forward all the time.
And then
I actually saw that a few times in the UFC. The guys were too high and not pushing back onto the hips, and I saw that quite a lot. Funny enough, So
now when Dwama was sitting and he was protecting quite well, doing a lot of wrist control that he did. So you can't really get in under the chin. You can't get the other arm in there to finish the choke. And eventually he managed to turn around, switch position, and then be in the guard of Zulu Boy. And Zulu Boy still had the body triangle around him. And I said to the people at the Braai, I was like, if you can get that arm in and get that arm across, he can finish it with a triangle. And then as I was watching it unfold, I was like, no, the arm's on the wrong side. He's going to have to get Dwama's arm across. And you can actually see when he gets that arm across and he locks everything up, he actually does this. There's a replay where he does this to the camera where he's like, I think I've got this. And then it was just waiting out his time. So welcome back, Zulu Boy. I mean, flyweight, he's definitely looking for Jake Hadley. The third fight on the fight card was Martin van Staden versus Pietie Thunder Coxon. I mean, we said it in the podcast leading up to the weekend on last week's podcast. I think a bit of a mismatch, and Martin demolished Pietie.
Yeah. Look, it was a quick fight and good wrestling domination from him as well.
I don't know if you want to call it that. He just picked him up and gooi hom soos 'n vrot vel. Like, it was quite something. I mean, in leading up to the podcast, not the podcast, leading up to the event, I mean, that little build-up, that's the word I'm looking for, that they did. I mean, he said he was going to hurt him. Martin van Staden says he's going to hurt Pietie, so that Pietie, next time he hears van Staden's name, rather wants to go in the opposite direction. That was what he was planning to do, but he just demolished him in just over a minute. So I don't think that also went according to plan. He got him out of there quick.
Yeah, no, it was a good display from Martin van Staden. Been in the game for a long time.
Absolutely.
So it was a good display from him.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the punters afterwards saying that the UFC should have a look at him. He's slightly on the older side now, but a veteran of nearly 50 pro fights.
Yeah, 2 decades, huh?
Yeah, spanning over 2 decades that he's fought professionally. I mean, the guy, to have nearly 50 pro fights, and he trains at a high level gym. Coach Kwan University. He trains with a lot of high pedigree guys. He trains with ex-PE boy Cameron Pritchard. He trains with Don Madge, under Richie Kwan. So they've got a big stable of fighters. A lot of guys coming through, big name guys that he's used to rolling with and used to striking with. So it showed on the weekend.
What do you think? From where does he go from here?
Well, I don't know. Where does he go? Yeah. He's going to walk in the opposite direction of Pietie Coxon. I can tell you that much.
So I wonder what they got planned for him.
Well, look, I think this was a welterweight fight. He obviously lost the title to Joe Silk Cummings, as we mentioned in the previous podcast. Whether Silk is going to come back, I think Martin van Staden is definitely ready to give him a show. I think Don Madge also vacated that belt. So no, I think there's going to be. He's got prospects as to where to go, but I think he's just in such a good space and so well rounded. Another guy that trains with them, if I'm not mistaken, is Boyd Allen from a striking point of view, which was the co-main event of the night.
Yeah.
I took a couple of years off, did a bit of boxing, and what a show he put on against Bruno Makulu.
Yeah, he dismantled him.
Those leg kicks were something else.
Yeah, and it's the same. We touched on it. Those leg kicks. Yeah.
I mean, the leg kicks that he threw, he started chopping them up one by one, and just superior head movement. At times, I was like, oh, hands a little bit low there, lift it up. But he knew exactly where he was.
Yeah, and I thought also those leg kicks seems to be something that that's aiming now. We discussed it previously. But those calf kicks seem to be making a huge impact again. Quite a painful place to get kicked.
And like you and I were chatting about it now, we might as well mention it to the viewers. It's almost like the leg kick has become like the old boxing days. I mean, you would know more about the old boxing days than what I do. Guys, like if you start boxing 101, they always say you open with a jab, hit your combo, finish with the jab, on the way out. It's almost like in MMA. Of late, I'm picking up a trend. I don't know if you've picked it up, where the guys will open, punch the combo, and when the guy has got his defenses up high for the punches coming, to end the combo, it's there's your leg kick. Also to stem the oak, if the guy wants to counter, suddenly there's a bit of pain on the leg, and it stops the guy and he gets breathing space to get this.
It's like you say, it's a trend. What do we know? There's always these trends, but. Yeah, like we saw what happened with Conor. It took everyone by surprise. I mean, everyone was expecting this big game, and there a calf kick sorted him out because he was immobilized. And I mean what's his name?
Dustin Poirier.
Not Dustin Poirier. So it seems like these trends do come and go, and it started with McGregor with Dustin Poirier, where he took the calf kick and totally immobilized him. And it's just like the time when the ankle locks came or the leg locks came out, everyone started doing leg locks all of a sudden, and then the guys seem to work out a way to counter it, you know what I mean? Same with McGregor, we're going to see when he comes back with Poirier, how he's going to be countering that, because it's something that took everyone by surprise. Kudos to Dustin Poirier, but I see now the guys are all seeming to, especially when you look in the gyms and some of the videos I've been watching, everyone is now practicing these calf kicks. So it's a matter of time before everyone makes an adjustment again and it goes away. But I mean, it is an irritation. I mean, I've been kicked on the calf a few times and it's not fun.
It's a long-term play. I mean, you need to kick it now. I know you feel pain from the first shot when it lands, but when, time after time, you see it when Bruno Makulu was switching stances, ain't know that hurts,
he kept changing stances. That's when you knew he was in a bit of pain.
So the thing is, but it's a long-term play, because I mean, in the first round, Makulu, obviously, like everybody else in the first round, it looks incredibly aggressive, incredibly strong, incredibly crisp. And the more those legs start to wear, he can't shoot and bounce forward. And at the back end of every combo that Boyd Allen threw, he pops it with a leg kick or opens up with that leg kick, and he just shoot his legs up for the first at least 7 minutes of the fight.
Yeah, look, also we discussed, when you're throwing a combination and you're doing a leg kick, the natural reaction of a fight is to come straight to back down the middle and throw a combination.
On the pipe,
normally sets you off. But the nice thing with that combination, you're throwing that leg kick, the leg kick is almost in range, or the calf kick is nicely in range, without you making too much of a commitment for a thigh kick or a higher kick up.
Means that I can't read it early.
Yeah, so that's the thing, it says your calf is nicely placed there, especially when you're throwing a combination.
The perfect counter to that is Chris Weidman's opponent. He's got a nice, what was his name again? I forget the name now, but just snapping the other oak's calf is a nice counter.
Yeah, or what happened to Chris Weidman with Anderson Silva,
Exactly, you just go for that approach.
That's
okay,
nice.
And then obviously, we spoke about earlier the local boy Sandile winning the number one title contender, number one contender bout that he's won, against the winner of the main card of the evening, the main bout, should I say, of the main card, which was Sylvester Chipfumbu and Faiz Jacobs.
Yeah, what a fight.
5-round war.
He came to fight, he tried his best, but I just think Sylvester was just too strong. Coming from a good gym with Themba Karimba and DeMont Penner, what a stable to come from. I think it's going to be. It was a good fight. And I think it's going to be a tough.
In the first round, Chipfumbu rocked Faiz. Faiz Jacobs managed to get up and rock Chipfumbu, and I thought to myself, here we go.
Yeah, it's a fight. Yeah.
And in the end, I think it was a bit of the wrestling pedigree. takedowns and control that had it going Chip Fumbu's way.
Yes. Well, also what we picked up was the way they wrap the legs up and keep your legs straight when they got you on the ground.
Yes.
I know that is so frustrating for a fighter because you're so wobbly, you don't have any way to really strut yourself up or keep yourself up. So good game plan going in there, you know.
Absolutely.
Good game plan, taking away the Faiz's weapons, you know, because he's standing bangs, you know. They just took it away.
But you know what? We love the guys at Sylvester's gym.
Yeah.
DeMart. We've had Themba Garimbo. For those of you that don't know, he was on our podcast. We recorded with him. I lost a bit of money on a super bet there against him. We were teasing each other quite nicely. But we are drawing the line in the Free State because our local boy, Sandile, has to fight against Sylvester Chip Fumbu for the bantamweight strap whenever that fight will get announced.
Sorry, the Mart Penna and Themba Garimbo. We're going to be screaming for Sandile, and we might break a TV or two.
Yeah, that's going to be part of it. That's going to be part of it. Either enjoy or frustration, but the TV is going.
Yeah, we love you guys to bits, and we always support you guys, you know. But we're going to be screaming for Sandile Manangele all the way.
Sandile is going to be our guy for that fight. You know, like I trust the guys at PESFA is going to think of a strategy. Luckily, and we say this tongue in cheek, a good thing for Chris and Sandile and the team, Barry and the likes, and Shorty and Cedric who's with him, Hubert, all of the guys working with Sandile has got a 5-round championship bout footage of how Sylvester fought. So luckily there's more of Sylvester after this weekend than what there was of Sandile. Sandile went 3 rounds, got a decision. Same, Sylvester went 5. So there's a little bit more footage to work with, a little bit more to go on. And I think there might be a bit of time spent neutralizing the wrestling, should I say, because there was very high level wrestling on Sylvester's part. I'm sure Chris and the team will have a few tricks up their sleeves. They're going to have a plan. And we look forward to that bout.
But also, we can't take away what a performance from him that we had at the EFC.
2 belts in the gym now.
Yeah, 2 belts in the gym. Awesome for Themba and DeMart, you know. And we look forward to that fight, you know. And we look forward to it. We it's a win-win situation for us.
PE wants another belt, Themba. PE wants another belt. So we had Shorty for a while, had his belt. It's time for Sandile to bring the other one.
We'll be shouting for him.
Sorry, I know, Themba, you said the last time I should never bet against you again, but I have to back the local boy.
We have to. We have no choice. You
can give us a bit of a rundown on let's touch on the UFC. I watched that.
You watched the UFC. I was unable to, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can bring us in the loop with the boxing bout just now. But from our side, I watched the UFC Fight Night, and the co-main event was Alex the Great White Morono versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and he finished Cowboy in the first round. Now,
sad. I don't like to see that because we love Cowboy Cerrone, but we don't want to talk fight. What do we know where fight is meant to end? But you know,
he's coming off a few losses now, back to back. Don't get me wrong, he's going to be one of the Hall of Famers. He's going to be one of the all-time greats. I mean, the guy had such a high work rate. At one stage in the UFC, he was fighting every second month. 6 fights in a year. You are always in camp. And he's getting a bit old. He's messing up his record. But like I say, a future Hall of Famer. What a guy. But he's starting to rack up the losses, and quite early losses in the bouts now. I don't think... if he does hang around, I think purely from a viewership point and pay-per-view for Dana White. I think he's losing his pay-per-view appeal. But the main fight was the Karate Hardy, Michelle Waterson, up against Rodriguez. That was a very good fight. It went 5 rounds. The ladies went hammer and tongs. Rodriguez just looked physically stronger and much bigger. And Waterson had her hands full. Muay Thai world champion is Rodriguez against the karate base of Waterson. Waterson fought very smartly. She fought very cleverly. So the other lady was desperately... Rodriguez was trying to get into the Muay Thai clinch. Absolutely hammered with elbows. Got Waterson a few times. The hectic knees, the Muay Thai knees, the Thai clinch. And Michelle Waterson found some creative ways to drop her by taking out the lead leg or the leg carrying the weight when those knees were being thrown or where those hectic kicks were thrown. So in the end, the scorecard read 49-46, two other judges, and then 48-47. I definitely gave the 5th round to Michelle. There's a debate about the third. Was it close enough to be 48-47 all the way through? Probably not. 49-46 was accurate. So Rodriguez is an absolute machine. Obviously, Michelle fought very well, hung in there, and that was only the second time in Rodriguez's career that she did not finish her opponent.
Yeah, it seems like, leading into the boxing story, it seems like scoring seems to be highlighted again. There seems to be so much many discrepancies. With the Canelo and Billy Joel Saunders fight, there was at one stage of the fight they said that Billy Joel was leading the fight, and I was like, wondering what fucking fight are these guys watching?
Irrelevant though, because luckily it went to
but the scary part is I watched one of Charles Sonnen's shows the other day, and he was saying he's not disagreeing with the scorecards. He just wants someone to explain to him, who's been in the fight game forever, how the hell this fucking works.
Yeah.
Because there's no logic to it. Like you have one judge scoring a fight completely different to two other. It's starting to get a bit like a bit lopsided.
Maybe he got extra points for losing an orbital bone.
Yeah. Jeez, I saw that X-ray. I'll pop it up.
Pop it up there now. The link. Did you see that? Like the entire bone.
This bone, is snapped.
You can see it. Like you can. There's an actual photo of him in the flesh, and then the X-ray.
Yeah.
You see this entire bone is caved in, and in the X-ray,
his nose is broken.
Yeah, and you see this entire little thing flapping on the side of his face in the X-ray. That is,
if anyone doubts Canelo's fucking power, Canelo's power, one uppercut, not a few uppercuts, one uppercut landed. But he was dominant through the whole fight. The only round I actually gave to Billy Joel was the first round. But throughout the whole fight, he was pushing him all over the place. He was dominating him from the beginning of the bell to the end of the bell. And there was even little stall tactics on Billy Joel's side just to actually gather himself.
Yeah.
There was constant pressure from Canelo. So with the score, we looked at the scorecards afterwards. They were completely out. I don't understand it. I've given up trying to understand this whole story.
Yeah, look.
But at the end of the day, who is next for Canelo? He's fought everyone.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see where he goes.
I think I think he's very, very much like in the best shape of his life at the moment. I think he'll be incredibly tough to stop.
Sure, yeah.
I think one very, very worthy opponent would be Jake Paul.
Yeah. Martin knows I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan, or I don't want to give him 1 minute of my time on my podcast. This is for Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul and his brother Logan.
Yeah,
we'll send them. Just bring them to PE. They don't get a lot of pay-per-view buys. They're not pay-per-view YouTube hits here, but they'll get hit plenty.
They'll get hit plenty. Yeah, come visit us in PE, my brother, with your all entourage.
Yeah, we don't steal Oaks hats.
No, we wouldn't. But the thing is, what I don't like is people throwing money at the sport.
Yeah.
It's making a mockery of the sport. We've had promotions locally that push guys with money up the ranks and give them opportunities to fight on main cards and that. And it's always as a fighter, it's always been put a bad taste in my mouth and things like that happen because it takes you years to get there. And this guy just throws money at it and all of a sudden he's on top. So it leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. All these wannabes. He's also handpicking who he wants to fight.
Yeah.
Go fight a real boxer. Just go fight a real boxer. Don't leave the MMA guys alone. Go fight a real boxer.
I see Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's brother, put his hand up. He had a pro license now, and he's got a few pro fights behind him, and he said, send the contract, I'll sign it tomorrow. I'll give you a proper hiding, because that's a proper boxer,
Yeah, it's just like pick on a proper boxer, leave the MMA guys alone, or go into an MMA fight. But Dana White won't sanction the fight.
No, he won't. But he learned his lesson with CM Punk. What is it to prove?
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. He had a guy that came out of nowhere and just demolished the poor oak, and it was another Martin van Staden and P.T. Cox.
Yeah.
It's it leaves no point. But listen, just to summarize it all up, big ups to EFC. We waited 420 something odd days. It was awesome to watch it. It was great to hear the guys, back at it. It was great to hear the commentary team. It was great to see the guys that were at Gods of War, break through into the EFC. Nice to see Conrad and the guys. Nice to see Temba there. The sport is still going. It's still growing. It's still strong.
We're still
We still here. There's going to be a podcast, like Terence mentioned earlier. We're going to have a podcast. We'll announce a bit more detail about when we're going to chat to the MMA SA board about the medical board that they wanted to put together. And we've got some exciting news happening from that. Please share, like the podcast, engage with us in the comment section. That's what, we don't claim to be the experts. We just give it from our point of view. We talk a lot of shit. Next time we should have the pipe here or something, at least have a drink if we're going to smoke, if we're going to talk a bit of shit.
None of this is scripted, eh? None of this is scripted. We're actually just talking a lot of shit. And we take it off the cuff. We try and watch all the fights. Very difficult. We try. I mean, he was Brian. So,
I was watching at the Braai.
We just love the sport and we want it to grow and we want the best for the athletes, I suppose, at the end of the day. That's
absolutely. So, listen, you guys, like it, share it. We've got a little trick up our sleeve for when we get slightly bigger. We've got exciting news, but we don't want to make any big promises or announcements just yet. But we're making some inroads in the podcast space. We're loving it. We're getting some quality guys on here. I mean, we've had Temba, we've had Ferdi, we've had quite a few guys.
I'll be interviewing Sandile Manangele and their team as well.
Brilliant. So there you go. Tune in for some more podcasts and we'll keep you entertained. We've had viewers from South Africa who has been serving time in quarantine while they're working in places like Turkey and Mozambique, and they've been tuning in and watching the podcast and actually chatting to us. They've got our number on WhatsApp, so sending us a few things and speaking to us from quarantine. So if nothing else, we quarantine entertainment. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, guys, good luck out there today.
Shot.